Welcome to, technically it's the first episode of Tim Talks, where we're going to really answer your questions, and whatever questions you have, we're going to take some time and deal with it every week. And so what we asked for you is to send in your questions on pain. Anything that you want to talk about, and we have some of your questions here. And so I'm with Kerry Overbrenner. He spoke on Wednesday night, and he is enjoying some yogurt from Plant Smoothie, who's graciously allowing us to film here. So he's just going to share a little bit on these questions, and again, if you're interested in some of his stuff, you check out carryoverbrenner.com. Also, yoursecretname.com is what he ministered to and about last Wednesday, so check all that out. So the first question that was posted by Maura Hoover, which is one of my former students in Ohio. She asked, what can you do to avoid pain in life? And I thought that was a pretty good question. Kerry, what are your thoughts when you go for it?
Sure, I'll give you a positive and a negative. One negative way you can prevent pain is by putting walls all around your heart, because we know that relationships do hurt. And so what some of us have done is we've created strategies to prevent anyone from getting into our heart. It's almost like if you have walls around your heart. And so yeah, you can do that, and it will prevent certain pain. But the more you do that, actually the more pain comes in, because all you're doing is you're stuffing your pain. So it's kind of like this quick fix masking of the pain, but it's still really there. The other way to prevent pain is to avoid sin. Sin is something that we all know brings pain, and pain always affects other people. That's one thing I've realized. When we sin, even if we're not involved, there's some form of loss. And so what I encourage people to do is walk toward holiness. If you just say, I'm not going to sin, you will. You need to draw close to Christ, and that's the only way to prevent sin, which prevents a lot of types of pain.
That's very good. That's good. Next question on there is most painful experience. And so I was just actually talking to the guys about this. And for me, it's not necessarily physical pain. I had my Achilles cut. I blew out my knee before, broke multiple bones in my ankles and wrist. But for me, my most painful experiences aren't physical pain. Physical pain ends. We recover from physical pain. Many times, emotional pain lasts a lot longer. And so for me, when a loved one gets hurt, my little boy, much like the story Kerry shared on Wednesday, he had to get his shots. He bumped his head a couple times. I remember on a Valentine's Day, my wife actually slipped while going up the stairs, and she fell. And so it was the emotional pain of someone else being hurt in my life. That was my worst pain. What about you, Kerry?
Well, I have a funny bad pain, and that was when I was in the MRI. I struggle with claustrophobia, and so they put me in that tunnel, and I know I felt super dumb, because all you are is in this little place. But I kept fearing that I couldn't get out, because my shoulder was torn, and I thought, what if the lady forgets? I can't get out. Holy cow. And there's that mental pain that we have. And so that was actually really tough. Then she said, you moved, so we need to reshoot it for 25 more minutes. It was crazy. Anyway, another one was a breakup. I get it, man. When you put your whole heart into a relationship and that person rejects you, that is a real type of pain. And here's what we often do. We say, that hurt, so the next time I'm in a relationship, I'm going to guard and not go all in. And when we do that, I actually, just true confession, I've done that in my adult life. I experienced a really painful breakup in college, and so I said, I'm going to prevent anyone from getting that deep, so I kind of go partially in, and I had to work through that.
That's good. Last question, and I thought this was a great one. What is the best remedy to pain? So Kerry, why don't you handle that? The best remedy to pain.
Here's what I think. If you don't communicate your pain, you're going to stuff it, and it's going to get worse. That's why I got into self-injury. So I think the best remedy is to express that pain in positive ways. Journaling, music, going out in nature, all kinds of things.
That's great. So, and next week the key word is story. Text us or Facebook, Twitter, #TimTalks. Any question about story, and we'll answer them next week. Thanks, Kerry.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.